on the northeastern tip of Florida, where the Atlantic Ocean crashes endlessly against a narrow strip of Barrier Island, there stands a black and white spiral tower that has watched over the waters for more than a century and a half. This is the St. Augustine Lighthouse, and locals will tell you in hushed voices over evening drinks that the dead who built it, drowned near it, and died within its walls have never truly left. They say the lighthouse does not simply guide ships home. It keeps something else close as well, something that walks the spiral staircase, long after the last visitor has gone and the iron gate has been locked for the night. The story begins not with the lighthouse that stands today, but with the one that came before it. In the 1800s, a wooden watchtower stood near the same spot, built to warn sailors away from the treacherous shoals where the St. Augustine Inlet meets the open sea. The man who kept that first light was named Hezekiah Pittee, and by the 1870s, the old tower was crumbling into the sea itself, undermined by decades of erosion. Pittee was given the job of overseeing construction of a brand new lighthouse, a tala stronger tower built further back from the eroding shoreline. He moved his family into a small house near the construction site, and it was there, in the summer of 1873, that tragedy struck for the first time. Pittee's daughters, along with the daughter of the assistant superintendent, would often play near the water while the men worked. One afternoon, 3 of the girls climbed aboard a small utility cart used to haul construction materials along a track that ran out toward the water on a trestle. The cart broke loose. It rolled down the incline and plunged into the inlet, dragging the girls beneath the surface with it. 2 of them drowned before anyone could reach them. Their names were Mary and Eliza Pittee, just 5 and 9 years old. Workers dove again and again into the churning water, but the current had already claimed the children. It is said that from that day forward, the sound of a child's laughter would sometimes drift across the construction site with no child in sight, and the men grew reluctant to work near the water after dark. The lighthouse was completed in 1874, and it has stood ever since, its beams sweeping the coastline every night without fail. But the tragedies did not end with its completion. Over the decades, the tower and the keeper's house beside it saw death after death. A lighthouse keeper is said to have taken his own life inside the tower, his body found at the base of the stairs by a fellow keeper who never spoke of what he saw that night without his hands trembling. Fishermen and sailors have drowned in the waters just offshore, their bodies never recovered, their spirits, some say, drawn back to the light that failed to save them. And in more recent history, in 1970, 4 teenagers broke into the abandoned keeper's house, then in disrepair, and set it ablaze while trying to keep warm. One of them, a boy named Ted, never made it out. His remains were found in the ashes days later. By the time the lighthouse and its grounds were restored and turned into a museum in the 1980s, the stories had already taken root deep in the community. Visitors began to report things that could not be easily explained. Children on tours would stop mid-sentence and turn to their parents and ask who the 2 little girls were, the ones standing at the top of the stairs, the ones in old-fashioned dresses who never answered when spoken to. Docents working alone in the gift shop after closing would hear footsteps on the floor above them, slow and deliberate, though the door to the tower had already been locked. Cold spots would form without warning in the middle of a warm Florida afternoon, tight little pockets of winter air that made the hair on your arms stand up before vanishing as quickly as they came. The tower itself, all 219 steps of its black iron spiral staircase, has become the epicenter of the haunting. Paranormal investigators who have spent nights inside have recorded disembodied voices on their equipment, faint and childlike, whispering words that sound like laughter or sometimes like crying. Electronic devices left running through the night have captured the sound of small feet running up and down the stairs when no living person was present in the building. One investigator described feeling a small, cold hand slip into hers as she stood partway up the staircase in the dark, only for the sensation to vanish the moment she gasped and pulled away. Psychics who have visited the site independently of one another have described sensing the presence of 2 young girls who seem playful rather than malevolent, as though they never understood that they had died, as though in their minds they are still simply playing near the water on a warm afternoon, waiting for someone to come and get them. But not every presence in the lighthouse feels playful. The keeper's house, rebuilt after the 1970 fire, and now home to museum offices and exhibits, carries a heavier, more oppressive energy according to those who have worked there. Staff members have reported the distinct feeling of being watched while alone in the building, a sensation so strong that some refuse to work there past dusk. Doors that were closed and locked have been found standing open in the morning. Objects on display have been discovered moved from their cases overnight. Small things, a hairbrush, a keeper's log, shifted just slightly from where they had been placed, as though someone had picked them up to examine them and set them back down, without quite remembering where they belonged. Some believe this is the spirit of the keeper who died inside the tower, still walking his rounds out of habit, still checking that everything in his domain remains in order, unaware or unwilling to accept that his watch ended long ago. There is also the matter of the light itself. Keepers and staff over the years have described the lamp flickering or dimming in ways that defy mechanical explanation, as though something unseen passes close to the mechanism at the top of the tower. During renovations decades ago, a work crew refused to continue a night shift after several of them reported seeing a shadowy figure standing at the top of the stairs, watching them work, before dissolving into the darkness when they called out to it. Whether this figure was the drowned keeper, one of the drowned sailors the light failed to save, or something else entirely, no one has ever determined. Today, the St. Augustine Lighthouse remains a functioning aid to navigation and a popular museum, drawing thousands of visitors each year who climb its stairs for the view from the top, where on a clear day you can see the entire barrier island stretched out against the blue of the Atlantic. Most of them leave with nothing more than photographs and sore legs from the climb, but some leave with something else. A photograph with an unexplained shape in the background, a small figure near the base of the stairs that was not there when the picture was taken, a recording on their phone with a faint whisper beneath the wind, a memory of a cold hand brushing against theirs in the dark stairwell, gone before they could turn to see who had touched them. The lighthouse keepers built their tower to save lives, to warn sailors of the dangers hidden beneath the water, but it seems that in the process, the lighthouse itself became a place where the line between the living and the dead grew thin, where two little girls who never made it home still wait at the top of the stairs, where a keeper still walks his final rounds, and where the light continues to sweep across the water every single night, as if still searching after all these years for the ones it could not save.